BBOR, Black Box Online Radio, coming to you from West Virginia at heart and from around the globe. And hello everybody, welcome to this special presentation of Black Box Online Radio. On this channel I mostly talk to you guys about unsolved mysteries, such as the Zodiac Killer, Jack the Ripper, D.B. Cooper, and JonBenet Ramsey. But there was one case that I followed for a couple years, and that was the Long Island serial killer mystery. And in 2023, a suspect named Rex Heuermann was arrested. And even though he has the presumption of innocence, he is innocent until proven guilty, I think that he was responsible for the murders that started as early as 1993. Maybe even possibly before that. But as of now, 1993 is the earliest one, the murder of Sandra Castillo, when I have an individual victim episode about her here on Black Box Online Radio, and I invite you to check out some of the content and some of the other episodes about the discoveries that have been made along the way, and as always, you can hit the like button and subscribe. But when it comes to this case, it's entering into some new territory that I don't talk about too frequently because, as I said, I mostly focus on unsolved mysteries, looking at suspect profiles, looking at theories, evaluating the evidence, reading books about these cases, and if anything, the Long Island serial killer story should give us hope that a lot of other unsolved mysteries will be solved one day, and answers will be given, closure will be brought to the families, and the victims can finally rest in peace. However, with this one, it's all coming back to the DNA. As I understand the story, Rex Heuermann was someone who was on the police radar for quite some time, and they were actually following him in New York City. And he was eating a pizza, and he left the pizza crust in the box when he threw it out, and they were able to pick up the garbage and extract DNA from the pizza crust, which was then used to create a DNA profile, which was matched to multiple, I repeat, multiple victims in the Long Island serial killer case. Absolutely one of the biggest discoveries, and DNA is just so vital to allow this to happen. But as I understand, though, with the collection process, they are able to do this because if somebody has thrown something in the garbage, they know they don't need a warrant, they don't need to do anything that would qualify as like an authorized seizure, because if someone has discarded the item, it is no longer in their possession. If it's in the garbage, then someone else has the right to claim it. So that's how they're able to do this. This also came up in the Brian Koberger case in regards to the Idaho murders. They caught him in a very similar way. But with Rex Heuermann, he is on trial now, and his defense attorney is named Michael Brown, and the defense team simply wants the DNA evidence thrown out. If you follow the true crime news recently, you've probably seen or heard something about this, because they're saying that the DNA was analyzed through a process that is not reliable, it's junk science, and it's not a credible method that has been used. And I watched a press conference with the defense attorney Michael Brown once, and the only way I can describe it is that he was floundering, sputtering, stammering. He's like, my client hasn't been found guilty, right? Innocent until proven guilty, and we should remember that. It must be an uphill battle trying to defend this individual, because with Rex Heuermann, not only do they have the DNA evidence, they also raided his home, and they found logbooks and records that he was keeping, instructions on how to commit the murders, even writing down notes such as "hit the victim harder." Absolutely terrible, terrible things that were happening. But again, I've noticed that other true crime channels and the law tubers have been reading off a statement that I found in the New York Post, and I've been hearing this almost verbatim on other channels. So I'm just going to read this segment here once again from the New York Post, just citing the source. Prosecution expert witness Nicole Navrosky, the associate director at the Center for Human Identification from the University of North Texas, said Wednesday that the type of science used for DNA analysis by investigators of the Gilgo Beach killings is not new, it is not junk science, and it has been trusted for decades. And another reason why I wanted to talk to you guys about this here on BBO War is it shocked me that they actually played a clip from the movie Jurassic Park in the courtroom. During Navrosky's testimony, prosecutors played a clip from the movie Jurassic Park, showing how scientists extracted dinosaur DNA from a mosquito preserved inside amber, and then used it to clone animals that have been extinct for some 66 million years. And I know that that's like an outrageous thing to do. It's a shocking thing to do. 4 years ago, when I was making episodes about the Long Island serial killer, I didn't know when the case was going to be solved, and I certainly didn't think that the prosecution would be using Jurassic Park as one of their exhibits. Okay, maybe not an exhibit, but they're trying to show that the process that was used for the DNA extraction isn't something that's made up, and it's something that has been discussed for decades, and it's a widely accepted methodology. And you can tell the defense is floundering, sputtering, stammering. They're just trying to discredit this because this is the case. This is everything. If that DNA gets thrown out, then you just have Rex Heuermann looking like a creep, someone who did weird sexual activities with his wife. But they really do have a mountain of evidence. It's just the DNA is the most important link that brings it all together. Navrosky said the DNA science referenced in the movie has been around since before it came out in 1993, and it has been verified thousands of times by people in the scientific community. And the defense attorney Michael Brown asserted that this science is not real, comparing it to magic. He added that the characters in Jurassic Park thought they had good science, but actually the dinosaurs ended up eating everyone. That prompted the judge to chuckle. I don't know why on earth the judge would chuckle about that. I don't know why on earth a judge would find that funny. Firstly, not everyone was eaten in the movie Jurassic Park, right? Right? Why else would they have sequels? Why else would that have been a franchise? But I digress from that. If anything, this is just somebody who is really grasping at straws. And let's be clear, there are other pieces of evidence. As I said, the DNA is the link among all the other things. It's the link that can spread like a web. You also have witness testimony of how Rex Heuermann was placed with Karen Vergata on the night that she was allegedly murdered. And, I mean, Karen Vergata was known as the Fire Island Jane Doe, and she was murdered in 1996. And after Rex Heuermann was arrested, a witness came forward and claimed that she could place him, and that she was at this swingers event that Rex Heuermann was having with his wife, and Karen Vergata, who was a victim of the Long Island serial killer. Stuff like that would absolutely be stronger if it was united with the DNA evidence. I don't think the DNA evidence is going to be thrown out. I don't think that Rex Heuermann is going to be found not guilty. If anything, this person is looking at a very long time in prison. And it's for the best. I mean, it's almost even just, like not satisfying at all when you think about it. Just he gets to live, and all those women that were murdered by him do not. And I really think though that that's something though that we just have to deal with in the true crime world. But I've noticed, though, there's almost absolutely no glorification of this case. The media doesn't try to make Rex Heuermann look like a sympathetic individual. They try to make him look like some type of sexual deviant who got out of control and started murdering women. And it's sickening. It really is sickening. And I mean, I'll just turn it over to you guys now. Do you think the DNA evidence will be thrown out? Do you think that this case could stand without DNA evidence? And let's be clear, I don't believe that it's junk science. And I think that that lawyer was just playing word games. I think he was just trying to play the whole game of, well, if you can't win, make them laugh. Maybe they'll like you a little bit. And I don't think that's going to work. Okay, just a short statement, but I wanted to respond to this. And you guys, know where to write the show, blackboxonlineradio@AOL.com. I'm your host, Blackbox Ned, and I'll see you on Monday for an episode about the Zodiac Killer.